All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today is March the 10th, 2026, and we are back in the wasteland for this week's weekly challenges for Fallout 76. And I'm in something of a special place, one that you may recognize, and I'll be more than happy to tell you all about it. But first, we've got some business to discuss, and the business of this week is picking locks because that's going to be important for you guys moving forward. With the patch that came out in March of 2026, they did make a change to safes, lockboxes, and related materials that are all behind locked doors. In that, when you crack them open now, you do have a chance to get legendary items, better contextual ammo, and on top of that, you can also find items that are related to your daily and weekly challenges. Now, I'm hit and miss on that one because sometimes this worked really well. Last week, it helped me pick up soap unexpectedly. This week, I don't know. I just logged on. What can I tell you? But I will tell you what I do and what I've done for the last couple of years. This is going to work for you or it's really not. I'm going to bring up my perks menu. I'm going to apparently open a unknown perk pack. I'm going to go to legendary perks. Now, this is what I use for all of my builds. I'm not a guy who's changing things in and out unless I'm swapping out for Ammo Factory. But the one that I keep on me at all times, at the expense of, I think, Legendary Endurance at this point, is Master Infiltrator. Now, I would get a bunch of extra perks if I swap this out for something else, but in all honesty, being able to automatically unlock every terminal and every lock in the game just made this a decent quality of life for me before this last patch. And now, I mean, if this will make it faster and give you less competition to get some of your daily and weekly challenges, then by all means, 100%, I would pick this up, or at least I would consider it if you can work it into your build. If you want some advice on my build, if you want to see how I do, I will preemptively warn you this is my heavy gun build. Get ready to take a photo because I'm not staying on it long. It is not perfect. It is not made for everyone. It is made for me because I am lazy and I can get everything done that I want to do up to and including soloing the EN06 Guardian using this heavy gun build. But again, it's not going to be for everybody. So take a screenshot and let's get on with it. Now, all of that being said, I'm in a special place. Very specifically, I am at the Sunday Brothers Cabin. I had planned for this to be a very special, just quick preview because I wanted to. And then, of course, ghouls happened. So let's talk about why I am here. Normally, I say that whenever we get a challenge to collect pre war food, I say, you can find it all throughout the world and good luck and, just sort of focus on it. But the reality is sometimes it's not that easy. Sometimes other people beat you to it. Sometimes stuff just doesn't spawn right. So let me show you a place where you can get a lot of it fairly easy. Pop over again. We are at Sunday Brothers Cabins. This is southeast of Dagger's Den, south of Berkeley Springs, directly south of the Berkeley Springs Station, and the Thunder Mountain Substation. This is a great spot, and you probably recognize it if you've ever done the event Moonshine Jamboree, because this is where the bot spawns to start that event. But chances are, if you've only been here long enough to start the Jamboree, you haven't really looked very far around. You might not have noticed that there's usually a plan down here for something or other, or some fun little lore around here in the area, or a salt shaker on the counter, or as you walk downstairs, a fuel canister, or if you look over to the side, usually some wood piles you can gather. And most importantly, a level 1 locked door that when you go inside and you haven't accidentally blown up a ghoul, my bad, you can find things like sugar, spices, vegetable starch, and then, more importantly, cooking oil, Cajun rice and beans, imitation seafood, canned coffee, more rice and beans, more vegetarian ham, more vegetable starch, more cream, imitation seafood, a bunch of lockers that may have stuff in them if you've got canned good on, or can do perk on, gumdrops, And you can even find some other scrap, glass, a lot of glass actually. Shortening, which for weird reason doesn't always count as food. There's a rad roach that hangs around in here too. There's some soap, there's a battery, there's headwear, there's more salt and everything. And I'm gonna sneak over. Oh, that's not salt. All right, loose screws and all this, just a bunch of good, useful stuff that you may have some need or other to obtain. And on top of all of that, we've even got a pre-war safe, and in here, just a bunch of stuff, including, in this case, 2 burnt books, which we do need. Your mileage on that will vary. And by the time you get done looting all of those, take a quick check, and you've already knocked out 13 of your 20 collect pre-war foods. So this is just one of my favorite spots to come and stock up on it. I hope I don't regret telling you guys where to find this. All right, next one down. Collect stim packs or chems out of 20. Now, they've actually nerfed the drops of stim packs and chems. This is frustrating for me because usually stim packs are my go-to thing to sell at the train vendors. That being said, they still do spawn everywhere. They still do drop off of everything, and you can get a decent number of them just by running a daily op or two. That's probably what I'm going to recommend doing, or go to any train station and look at the medical supplies vending machines. Then we go to one that we have talked about ad infinitum. It is collect a burnt book. Again, burnt books usually everywhere. Now you can find them in lock safes for this week, but you can, of course, also swing down over here to Summersville. The blue house that's right off of 87A should have a bunch. They have changed the number of books that's in this house, so be kind to other players. Only get what you need. If you really have a hard time with it, go down to Rapidan Camp and go to the Brown House, which is in the middle of Rapidan Camp. And you can find a bunch of burnt books, burnt magazines, and a bunch of stuff. Food items, salt, sugar, bunch of goodies inside Rapidan Camp. And just do that once, come back 2 or 3 days, and return. It's an instance area. The only thing that prevents stuff from spawning is if you haven't looted the obligatory, some was it 255 items that you have to loot in order to get world loot to respawn. I think that's the number. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Then complete an event, 0 out of 3. And hey, guess what? It's a special event week. This week, the Invaders from Beyond are back, so keep your eyes open for that. Spawns at the top of the hour, every hour, and there is a challenge to do something with that. No new rewards this time. That comes directly from Fallout's Twitter feed, but General Zeta is supposedly dropping 4-star mods. So that's reason enough to go do it because it beats trying to farm the raids, which, while they have gotten significantly easier, usually do require you to do at least something with other people, and ew, people. All right, consume any chems. Well, you're picking up 20 stim packs and or other chems. There you go. Eat pre-war food. By the time you collect 20, you probably are closer to 25. Just chow down on it. And don't forget, bubblegum does count as you level. Kill a creature, 25. I don't know what to tell you other than good luck and good aim. Kill a floater, out of 10. All right, floater's a little harder to track down, but not that much. Your best bet, as always, is to track them down in special events. Recovering Blue Ridge over at Middle Mountain Pit Stop is a great place to pick up floaters because they do now spawn in that. Moonshine Jamboree, for reasons that I don't understand, replaced the ghouls with floaters, which is just a decision that was made. And yeah, you can pick them up as a reward monster in Radiation Rumble at Emmett Mountain Disposal Site. And then, of course, you can swing over to the one place where you can find a bunch of them. That is Big Mall, which spawns at least 6. 3 in the pit, 3 outside. 3 more hang around outside of the General Steakhouse in the back. And you can pick up a few around Big B's Rest Stop. Aside from that, look for super mutants. Odds are good. If you see a super mutant, you might find some floaters. Might. Just some places to keep in mind. You should pick up your 10 on that pretty easily. And the final weekly challenge, scrap junk to produce wood. Note that this is not the same thing as harvesting wood. So the wood you pick up out of wood scrap piles doesn't count. The wood you get when you break down a shotgun, that counts. So there you go. That one will probably be the second fastest you do. Kill a creature, your quickest. But it really depends on how many chems you want to pump into your system. All of these are going to be fairly quick this time around, except for collect pre-war food. Everything else, I would be shocked if you don't get it done within 1 or 2 days. Collect a burnt book, of course, being dependent on if you have luck, if you're on a public server, or if you just decide to say screw it and reload that one. Then on to our daily challenges for March 10th, 2026. Scrap junk to produce springs. I, for the life of me, can't remember if springs are bulk or not. I will go check. Collect stim packs or chems. Collect any flavor of Nuka-Cola. Okay. On this one, you know exactly what I'm going to tell you, and that is to swing down to either Bubbles at the White Spring Refuge in the back near the stamp vendor, or grab your stuff and hop down to Nuka World on tour and go find the Nuka World vendor that is off to the side of the main crafting area. In fact, I'm going to pop over there right now just so I can show you guys what I mean. And I do want to issue a correction from last week while I do this. I mentioned that it's a great EXP boost to make cranberry relish, but I gave you guys the wrong recipe. You do need cranberries, you do need gourds, but you also need sugar. And I forgot about that one. Sugar can be picked up a couple of different ways, whether you loot it at places like the Brown House and Rapidan Camp throughout the world, or if you happen to go any place where you can find snaptail reeds, and you can find a huge concentration of them up and down the Ohio River, and it takes 2 of them to make 1 unit of sugar. So I did get the recipe wrong, and I wanted to apologize for that. So just to refresh my personal memory, and to give you guys a reminder, when it comes to bulk, whenever you have a challenge that says scrap X number of whatever, just come over here. Bulk springs can be scrapped. And it'll tell you how many loose items of that scrap you need, and you usually need about 2 plastic. Doing so cuts that down to 1 unit, and then once you scrap it, like we're going to do here with wood scraps, it'll count towards your target. So let me show you what I mean. So we just made bulk wood. We're going to go over to a scrap box, or any workstation really. Just go to my scrap box to make my life easier. Okay. Bulk spring, scrap junk to produce springs. Wood, scrap junk to produce wood. Done and done. And then to remind you guys where to find the Nuka-Cola vendor, that is right down here. And right in here, buy the Nuka-Colas you need, one at a time, and that should take care of that. All right. That's it. Well, no, that's not it. Consume any chems and collect stim packs or chems. We've already talked about this. Kill a feral ghoul out of 5 and kill 3 floaters, as well as a camera picture of an alien invader. Okay, my favorite place to collect ghouls for something like this is the New River Gorge Bridge East. It is a spectacular view. There are a handful of ghouls you can pick off one after the other with absolutely no headache whatsoever. If you want something a little faster, though, pop over to Freddy Fear's House of Scares. You'll port in very close to a pile of ghouls and some other stuff. I'll show you what I mean. There's also going to be either a Wendigo or a bloated one guarding them. There are also several safes and things you can crack open, plus some other goodies scattered around. So it may just be a decent place to pop in now and again whenever you're looking for scrap. So pour it in over here and take a look in the back. And All the bad guys you might need, right over there. Ghoul, 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 and I did see a Wendigo. Ooh, one of those is legendaries. I'm just gonna stay here for the rest of the video. All right, now taking a camera picture of an alien invader. You're not going to be able to do that until they spawn at the top of the hour every hour, and sometimes that one can be very tricky because Alien Invader is the name of one of the alien mobs. Sometimes it works on any alien, sometimes it works specifically on Alien Invader. Just keep that in mind. And now that I've said all that I have to say today, thank you so very much for tuning in to another episode of Dead Men Streaming. Feel free to check the notes on things you can find about me, what I'm doing, what I'm getting into. I do plan on doing a charity stream. I know I've been saying that for months now. Sometime in the very near future, maybe as early as this coming weekend, on my Twitch channel. I do run a charity out of Parkersburg, West Virginia, a real life place that isn't represented on this map. And I'll probably be playing either Diablo 4 or Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Then, on top of that, I do write books. And if you enjoy fantasy horror or cyberpunk, urban fantasy, dystopian, got a one that might fit the bill on that. And finally, over there on my TikTok, I do some of my resin crafts. I show you guys how I pour just basic things. And last but absolutely not least, March is Traumatic Brain Injury Awareness Month. And while we all make jokes about head trauma and, shell shock in this game, um, that's actually something that I live, which makes it hard for me at times to use words and get everything straight in my head, which is why sometimes I struggle with remembering exactly where things are in this game. And when I make a mistake, I try to correct it, but that is what it is. And I'll be talking about that on a couple of videos coming up in the very near future. All of that being said, if I've helped out, don't forget that like, comment, follow, subscribe, engagement stuff that you have to do. And I will see you guys again sometime after I blow these guys up. Boom goes the dynamite. Boom. All right. Oh, I boomed. Go away. Quit that. And on that note, I'll see you next week if these guys don't catch me first. Until then, be safe out there.